Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode. My name is Mavi and thank you for tuning in. Someone has said it right. A good coach can change a game and a great coach can change a life, and that's true. And we have someone special today we're gonna interview who has spent 15 years of his life working in finance, working with the big banks and designing pension plans, and 10 years of selling and buying real estate and helping out the families with the real estate needs, and 6 years of coaching real estate agents, and overall 25 years of experience working with the data. And then he's the number guy and we call him Mr. G. And let's not waste time and then welcome Mr. Gurpreet Thind. Hey Gurpreet.
Hi Mavi, thank you for having me. I appreciate the introduction.
Thank you Gurpreet, thank you for joining us today. Let's start with your story. If you can tell us a little bit about your story and your background. So how did you start?
Like you said, I'm the numbers guy. I started with a background in economics from Wilfrid Laurier way back in '99 when I graduated. Got into finance and thought I was going to do that until I retired. And I did that for 15 years. I used to give the managers of your mutual funds and your stocks and bonds their report card every month. Mm-hmm. And
so Gurpreet, can you tell us what made you move into real estate?
About 15 years in, I thought I hit a bit of a ceiling at the banks and pension plans, and I thought, I want a little bit more for myself.
Yeah.
Right? And I always had this passion for real estate. I love the shows, we watch on TV.
Yeah.
And I was investing in real estate. That's what I was kind of naturally drawn to. Mm-hmm. I love the leverage of real estate. I love that your money worked, 5 times as hard. And so I did my courses. I decided with the full support of my wife to take the jump and get into real estate. I heard a lot of naysayers. Mm-hmm. My parents were like, "What are you doing? What do we pay for this education?"
So like they didn't want you to change the career.
They wanted me to play it safe.
But I think you took a huge step. You had a good job. You had a vacation. Everything paid for it, and secure job, and then 15 years. It's a lot of time.
It was a lot of time. I was already a third of the way through my working life.
Wow.
Right. I mean, you work till 65.
Yeah, and then you just after 15 years I want to do something different now.
So, I was a little hesitant still. And I think what really pushed me over the top was my agent at the time, who was also a friend of mine, said, "You don't want to do this. Mm-hmm. Stick with what you have."
Did you mention to him you want to get into real estate?
I mentioned it to him.
Uh-huh.
I bounced ideas off him.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of just made it sound like I couldn't do it. And that was all I kind of needed, right? I just was like, you know what? No, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
No, definitely I can do it.
So I did the courses. I signed with my first brokerage was Remax Brokerage.
Mm-hmm. And what year was it?
That was 2013.
Wow, this is a long time.
2013. And, they were great. Mm-hmm. A big brokerage, lots of high producing agents. Mm-hmm. But I got in there and they didn't have the right support for me. Mm-hmm. Let me put it that way. Mm-hmm. So I felt like a fish out of water. I didn't know what I was doing. All my previous history was finance. I didn't know how to pick up the phone and what to say to the client, how to get the client in front of me in the first place.
I think it's two different things, knowing real estate, knowing actually about real estate, how the number works, but actually when you helping somebody buying and selling, and that's another skill because you gotta play the salesperson role.
You're bang on. You're bang on, Mavi.
Right.
I wasn't a traditional salesperson.
Yeah.
I had never done sales in my life.
Yeah.
And so I gave my notice. I switched. I looked for a brokerage that offered leads. Mm-hmm. And I went to condos.ca, fantastic company. Mm-hmm. They're the number one condo site in the GTA still to this day. Mm-hmm. And they were first to market with a very different model, right? They were giving leads to agents.
Oh, I think, is that the first company who started giving out the leads?
They were one of the first do it on a big scale, right?
Oh, wow.
Where it was the whole brokerage was basically, hey, come with us. We're going to give you the leads. They had a CRM. Mm-hmm. They had their systems.
Wow.
to help you manage those leads.
Mm-hmm.
And it was great because they were the first ones out there. Now everybody has a website that does all that, but they were the very first. And they also did the analytics. They had all the trends on, how are buildings growing, what's the values, what's price per square foot. That also played to my finance background. So it seemed like a great marriage.
Good marriage.
And I was there for about a year. We were around 40 agents. And the company was doing well, and I was doing well. I had just made their shortlist for top producers during that year. And the owners approached me and asked if I would take a small step back to help manage a company because of my background, because of my finance and business background. So I became director of finance and business development.
Wow.
And over the next 18 months, and this is not just me, I had a huge team and really great support in terms of leadership and ownership. We took that company from about 40 agents to over 200 in 18 months.
In 18 months?
18 months. We more
exactly
than
like
400% increase, over a 400% increase.
Wow, seems like you done something right in that place to bring up a lot of agents into the company.
You know what, like I said, it was myself, our broker of record, fantastic individual, a good friend of mine now, and the whole supports team. We had great people throughout the organization, and we all worked with the single vision, and we opened an office in Vancouver over that time. We helped open 3 branch offices in the GTA. And then I think I was getting a little burnt out doing that and my sales because I was still selling real estate. And
is that the time you started thinking about coaching?
I did. You know what? Over that time frame with all that growth, I had a lot of agents calling me. Gurpreet, how do I do this? Gurpreet, how do I...
you were managing the team at that point in time, right?
I was essentially, because you have to think of condos.ca as one big team. So 200 agents. And I was the team lead.
So everybody's calling you?
So everybody was calling me or the broker of record.
Oh, wasn't that annoying for you? Or because I believe it gets annoying.
You know what? For some people it would be. I liked it. I took more satisfaction out of helping those agents get to their goals than closing my own deal. And that's where my love of coaching, I think, really started to burn a little bit, right? I also got the opportunity to get my hand into 400 plus transactions over a year and a half. I want to get back to selling. I wanted to prove to myself I could get to that next level.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the model at the time at condos wasn't the best for that. And so I went to Keller Williams. Keller Williams, if you guys are unfamiliar, really well known for their coaching program, their training.
Yeah, exactly. The training,
right?
All the support they have for the new agents.
Yeah, and as well as I had done over the last, that was about 4 years into my career, I never really had real training in real estate.
Till you got into
Till I got to Keller Williams. And I really just jumped in. I dove into everything they offered. I saw my business go to the next level.
And when you say the actual training, so what do you mean by actual training? Is it the selling or buying part, or is it just the system, or if you give me the clarity on that?
Everything. I up until that point, I had just kind of figured out things. I had figured out
it wasn't a design you were doing at a condo.ca, how to do it a better way. But when you went to the Keller Williams, they already had a system.
Keller Williams already had the system. They already had all the scripts. Their business was built on. A lot of you guys wouldn't know this. New agents don't know this, but for every 100 people you have in your database, that's good for 6 to 8 deals a year.
Yeah.
Nobody told me that, right? So if you have 300 people in your phone, right? You're sitting on, I would say, minimum 12 deals, probably 18 to 20. You don't need to lead generate. You don't need to do anything else.
Yeah, I think these days everybody's after lead generation.
So I jumped in. I absorbed their training. I took their courses. I shared with the operating partner my love for coaching. And they ended up making me a productivity coach. So all the new agents were coming to me, right?
Wow.
And I was running weekly coaching sessions, masterminds. We would go from the basics. Hey, this is how you fill out your paperwork. This is how you pick up the phone and make a phone call. This is what you're supposed to say to them. Tools. Hey, you need a good CRM. You need a database manager, a system. How do you implement those systems? So we really took them from A to Z on that. And I enjoyed it. I had 40 at the end of my run there. I had 40 agents. They were productive. I had a 90% retention rate in the program. Typical brokerage, you have a 60% retention rate. Right? So I increased that to over 90%.
Wow.
Two things. I was available. I was knowledgeable. And I would say my biggest strength is emotional intelligence.
So Gurpreet, I have noticed that ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ call ਕਰਦਾ ਹਾਂ, whenever I call you, you always pick up the call. You never hesitate. Like when I have seen other coaches in the past, they only pick up the call when there is something for them. There is something really specific I think about you. The way you take the calls, the way you answer all the questions, doesn't matter like who call you. It's brand new agent or agent with experience. There's something different. Like, so what made you, working from the heart?
I have to give that credit to a few people in my life. First, I want to credit you, right? Because you're coachable. You take what we say, myself, Rick, the other senior agents in our office, and you implement it.
Yeah.
Right? You actually do the work. So if you didn't, maybe I wouldn't be so forward in picking up that phone call, right?
Yeah.
But what I realized in high school, I had a basketball coach. And he was the first person out of my family, but out of my parents, to truly believe in me.
Like, what did he
I didn't make the team. And he said, Gurpreet, you got to get better. You're welcome to practice with us. Right? And the first practice after I got cut, I didn't show up. And he was also my regular school teacher. So he pulled me aside at the end of the day and he said, Gurpreet, you didn't come to practice today. What happened? I said, Coach, I didn't make the team. Why am I going to waste my time? And he said, well, don't you want to get better? I said, yeah. He said, how are you going to get better if you don't practice? Right? And he said, you have some talent. You just have never played. He goes, I'm going to teach you to play the right way. I'm going to teach you the skills, but I need you to put in the effort.
Yeah, so I mean, like, the coach can only give you the roadmap and tell you what to do, but you are the person who's going to do it and make it happen, right?
Yeah, so that was, the first time somebody actually made me accountable. And that's what a coach does. A coach makes you accountable for who you are and what you do. And obviously my parents, our background, Sikh, Punjabi, we have a word seva.
Seva, yeah.
Right? For those of you who don't know what seva is, seva means to serve, to give back to your community. And my parents, they instilled that in me from a young age. They were always giving the shirt off their back, even though they were new immigrants to this country. And that's how I was raised. That's who I am. And part of coaching is giving back.
Yeah.
Right?
So you're like doing both things at the same time.
It's instilled in me, right? And it's not for any personal gain. It's just, if you give back to the universe, you give back to people.
So it's all about like giving back.
It's about giving back and leaving this world better than when we came in.
That's really powerful.
Right? And that's something that's always stuck with me. And having gone through those transactions, the growth of Condos.ca and being that coach at Keller Williams, I realized I took way more satisfaction out of helping people like yourself hit your goals than closing my own deals.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why I got into coaching, and we have some big things that we're going to be announcing soon on the coaching front as well.
I'm really excited for that. And then, like, now we are talking about coaching. I really want to ask you, like, when you train a new agent, or agent like who's into the business for like couple of years, and then sometimes you get stuck. You just get stuck on 5 deals or 6 deals, and then you can't really figure out what's wrong. Like, so what kind of pattern you see with the new agents or the agents who can have the big breakthrough year?
Yeah.
Like, do you see any patterns? Like, what they're doing wrong?
There is some commonalities, and it's a great question. You know,
Thank you.
I think there's 3 things in no particular order that I find that are common for people who are kind of stuck, right? But I think there's 3 things. I think people come in with a misconception of the industry. I mentioned I loved HGTV. I love watching those TV shows about selling houses and, was it Homes on Homes, fixing things, whatever. It really glamorizes the industry, and social media especially lately.
So everything's going up, and then people see how much money they make. It's just one of the reasons they want to get into it, right?
Yeah, so the TV, the social media makes it look easy. There is a lot of money to be made in the industry if you're good at it, but it's hard work, as you know yourself, right? And as you guys know out there, it is a 24/7, 365 job. So that's number one. It's a glamorized industry. Like most sales jobs, the 80-20 rule is true. 20% of the agents are making 80% of the money, right? And those are the guys you see on TV. Those are the guys you see on social media. But you have to put in the work. Number 2, there's a gap in the industry between the educational courses that you get, which is good training.
The courses that you do, like when you get your license, right?
Your license, yeah. So, how do you write a contract? What is the difference between a detached home and a condominium? Older homes, you just automatically are taught, you have to look out for things like asbestos and UV and these kind of things.
Yeah.
Stuff the general public doesn't know about.
Yeah.
What they don't really teach you in those courses is how do you engage with the public?
Yeah.
The first time you call the agent, Mavi, like, what do you say to them for the negotiation? Do you just go in and offer what they're asking?
Yeah.
Do you pay them less than asking? Do you pay over asking?
Yeah.
I mean, Indians, we're us. We love to negotiate and bargain, right?
Yeah.
So if the house is for $1 million, are you going to go in and say, "I'm giving you 500 cash? Take it. Come on, take it. Don't worry, it's a good deal." And it doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that.
Right? So, there's a gap there, and there's the training and the coaching, right? You have to pay for it. But how do you pay $500 to $1,000 a month if you're not making any money yet?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So that's number 2. The third thing, people have heard this all the time. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
So I came from finance. I was a smart guy. I did really well. You ask me about numbers, data, analytics, I can tear those things up inside out, right? That doesn't mean I know stuff about real estate.
Yeah.
Right? So it wasn't that I wasn't smart. It wasn't that I wasn't willing to learn. But I didn't even know what I had to learn. So I saw this problem and I said, you know what? I need to build a program that is going to take agents from A to Z.
Is it like a funnel that you do step by step?
Literally step by step, but I created the roadmap.
Oh yeah, exactly.
It's not
That's
rockets.
What you need,
it's the roadmap, right? This is step 1, right? You need leads. Well, how do you generate those leads? We're going to teach you, right? Or use your phone, whatever the case is. So now we're teaching you to generate leads. Well, how do you convert those leads?
You need to learn how to talk.
How do you talk? What do you say? How do you follow up? People like being followed up in different ways.
Yeah.
Millennials love text messaging and instant messaging.
Yeah.
Older people, like my parents,
They
they want you to pick up the phone. They want you to come to their house, have tea.
Yeah.
Sit with them.
The tea is always there.
It's always there.
The
right?
tea is always there.
So it's learning personalities. Again, going back to the disc profile and personalities. So it's knowing who you're dealing with and engaging with. Then it's, individuals, we're very capable human beings, right? We can do a lot of things on our own. But once you get to a certain level, then it's, okay, I need an assistant. because I need to take these things that don't make me any money off my desk so I can focus on things that are going to make me money.
Yeah.
Right? You need the right database, the nice system. Now, these things cost money.
Yeah.
Right? So if you don't have the money to go out and pay for it, what do you do? And that kind of leads me to why I moved this from Keller Williams to EXP. Because EXP as a brokerage was technology based.
Yeah.
They gave the agents those tools that they need. All we need to do is implement the processes and the roadmap and have obviously our commitment and our drive.
Gurpreet, the next question I want to ask you, like, are there any couple things that in general any agent can apply to have like more success this year?
Definitely. Very good question. I think it's that's a question agents need to answer first when they start. Number one for me is scheduling. And number two, that kind of leads into it, is the roadmap.
Yeah. Just tell me a little bit more about like scheduling. So what do you mean, like by time blocking?
Time blocking, I mean, I think most people, as we mentioned, they think it's easy. Social media makes it look like, oh, you just roll out of bed, go open a door and you make a big commission.
Yeah, exactly.
It takes a lot of work. You have to prepare.
Yeah.
So you have to treat it like a regular job to some degree.
Yeah.
Wake up and get your day started at 9 a.m.
Yeah, and I think nobody's looking after you in this field.
Nobody is. I mean, in school,
Yeah.
we've talked about this before. In school, your teacher's looking after you.
Yeah.
When you work a regular 9 to 5, your manager, your supervisor, they're looking after you. They're holding you accountable.
Accountable, yeah.
So the first thing in this industry is who's holding you accountable? Finding accountability and finding the roadmap.
So what do you mean by a roadmap?
Roadmap, I mean, how do you get to your goal? Making the goal, setting that goal is easy, right?
Yeah.
I want to make $150,000 this year. I want to make $500,000 this year. Great.
Yeah.
How do I get there? What's the GPS?
Yeah.
Right? What's step one?
Yeah, exactly.
What's step two? What's step three? A good coach will help you design that roadmap. And a good coach will also help you pivot when what we've designed isn't working. Some people, they need a detailed step by step to maximize their talents. So accountability and roadmap, the two biggest things.
Gurpreet, so I want to ask you, like, how are you helping agents right now? Like, what kind of training or system you, because I know like you're a big guy after the system and training.
Yeah.
So what kind of systems and trainings you're using to coach people now?
So I love that question.
Yeah.
Because I love coaching. We just finished designing a new coaching program and it's open actually to all realtors.
Like all realtors, you mean?
I mean, it doesn't matter if you're with EXP, with our brokerage in particular, our office, or you're with somebody else. We are offering free training for agents. Again, going back to that word seva, because we want to give back. We want to improve this industry.
Yeah.
It's not about improving ourselves.
Yeah.
We want to change the industry. And so we're launching a new training calendar. I'm sure we're going to have at the end of this video ways to contact us and people can reach out to us, but we're going to cover the roadmap for you. So we're going to create for you what are the processes, what are the systems, what are the tools you need at a minimum to be successful in this business. And we're going to run that weekly on a recurring monthly cycle. So every Monday, for example, we're going to talk about lead generation and conversion.
Yeah.
Right. We have some very good coaches in our office that are going to be running this. Wednesdays, I believe, if I remember correctly, we're going to be talking about utilizing your CRM, your database. And we have a very good coach, Mona Carta, for that. And she's going to get back on how to use that and leverage that for your business. Thursdays, we're going to have a little bit more advanced training. What is your buyer presentation? How do you put one together? What do
I
you
think a lot of
say?
people even don't know about the buyer presentation or listing presentation.
Too many agents think they're just gonna walk in and wing it,
Yeah.
but it's all about consistency. You
Yeah.
have to do the same thing. It has to be repetitive,
Yeah.
and it has to be duplicatable. You know, most agents are good with the regular purchase and sale.
Yeah.
Assignments are very different.
Yeah. Simon.
So that's going to be a big fix for us as
Mhm.
well. And then we want to have almost like an open mic
For like Fridays.
at the last Friday or the last Thursday of the month,
Mm-hmm.
where you know we're going to have panels.
Mhm.
We're going to have these top producers like Rick and Mark and Robert
Mm-hmm.
sitting, and agents will come in and ask questions and say, hey, how do I take my business from A to B?
Yeah.
What did you guys do to take that next big step?
Mm-hmm.
Or we're in a crazy market right now,
Exactly.
you know? So even just, what should I do?
Yeah.
How do I get listings? How do I win that multiple offer?
Yeah.
And it's more of an open mic, a Q&A style,
Mm-hmm.
mastermind, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got a lot of things planned,
Mhm.
and we're hoping to get that launched we were hoping for Jan 1, but because of this,
The COVID
Shutdown and
shut
stuff.
down again.
you know, we're hoping for Feb 1, hopefully everything's open.
Mm-hmm.
If not, come, you know, whatever happens, we'll start on Zoom.
And is there any? I know you are very helpful for not even like people in the office, but like in journal. And I don't think so you would say no to anybody. But is there any link or way to reach to you, or if somebody's watching, they want to ask a question to you, or they want to reach out to you? What do you recommend? How they can?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I want to. We'll have my phone number posted, I think.
Yeah.
It's if you want to call me, it's 416-428-3063.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can email me.
Mm-hmm.
It's Gurpreet. It's GURPREET @thethinnedgroup.ca.